Welcome back, Math 6. This is Chapter 3, Section 7, Multiplying Decimals. Alright, so we're going to get started right with examples. Again, the very first thing you should do is to estimate. Remember that estimating helps with reasonableness. So what we can do is you can look at this right here, 8.3, 2.9. That's pretty much 8 times 3, which is 24. So our answer should be close to 24. All right. And remember, there's two ways of multiplying decimals. You can either count up the number of decimals, or you can look at what your answer is here and see what answer makes the most sense. So the first one here has 1 decimal place. Let's do the multiplying now. 3 times 9 is 27. Carry the 2. 9 times 8 is 72. But you have a 2 there, so 72 plus 2 is 74. Now I usually put an X here. You can leave it blank. Some of you maybe put a box there. Some of you maybe put a 0. What you need to understand is that now everything gets shifted over. You're not multiplying by 1. You're multiplying in the tens placeholder. So you have to start with a tens placeholder when you multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 8 is 16. And so now we've got all of this here. And we add. 7 plus nothing is 7. 4 plus 6 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 6 is 7. Plus 7 is 14. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So we can do this one of two ways. Previous sections, one method would to be look at the estimation, and if the estimated answer is 24, then this here should be 24. It shouldn't be 2.4. It shouldn't be 240. The decimal, according to the estimated answer, should go right here. You could also look at the fact that you're multiplying two numbers that have 1 decimal and 1 decimal. So when multiplying 1 decimal with another 1 decimal, you should end up with 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. Either way works. The product is 24.07. Compared to the estimation, the product is reasonable. All right, let's look at this. Let's do our estimation. Well, 0.12 is pretty much 0.1 times 5.3, which is pretty much 5. 5 times 0.1 is 0.5. So our answer should basically have a decimal at the beginning of it. Let's check and see if it does. The first number has 2 decimal places. The second number has 1 decimal place. So your final result should have 3 decimal places. When you do 3 times 2, that gives us 6. 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 1 plus 1, 6. After I add, I get 636. Now, that tells me that since my answer should have the decimal in the beginning, or my answer should have 3 decimal places, I would go 1, 2, 3 decimal places. There it is. So the product is 0.636, which compared to the estimation, the product is reasonable. All right. So remember this. There are several ways to show multiplication. The expression 6.8r mean 6.8 times r. There's other ways. It can be 6.8 with a big dark dot, r. That's multiplication. It can be 6.8 with parenthesis, r. That's multiplication. 6.8 r, like it says above. And all of this is 6.8 times r. All of them mean you're multiplying. So, evaluate 6.8r if r is 0.92. Well, 6.8r equals 6.8 times 0.92. Well, you're going to replace r with 0.92. Now, let's estimate. Estimating tells us that 6.8 times, well, 0.92 is basically 1. So my answer should be somewhere around 6.8. All right. 2 times 8 is 16. 8 times 9 is 20. No, it's 72. Plus 1 is 73. I'm going to put an X here because that's how I do it. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. That's 54 plus 1, 55. So when I add this, that's 6, 5, 12, 6. So my answer is estimated at 6.8. I have 6.256. And the decimal, according to the estimation, should go here. But also, you have 2 decimal points with 1 decimal point equals 3 decimal points. 1, 2, 3. That's how this is set up. All right, let's write in here. How would you find the number of decimal places for the product of a number with 2 decimal places and a number with 3 decimal places? There are 2 ways. You can count the total number of decimals being multiplied and make sure the answer has that many placeholders. The other way is to estimate. All right, estimating you should do anyways to see if your answer is reasonable, but really estimating is to you could use to find the number of placeholders. So 3.8 times 2.3. Well, that's basically 4 times 2, so a reasonable answer should be close to 8. I don't know why I keep writing a 3. 3.8 times 2.3. 8 times 3 is 24. 9 and 11. I'm going to put an X here. Sorry for moving all that around. Oops, didn't do it quite right. All right, and then 2 times 8 is 16. That's 6 and a 7. So let's add this up. 4, 7, 8. My answers should be close to 8, so it's definitely not 87. It's definitely not 0.8. So that means I can feel comfortable putting the decimal point at between the 8 and the 7. 0.31 times 2.9. That's basically 0.3 times 3, which is 0.9. So let's multiply. 1 times 9, 9, 27. 9, 27. All right, I made a mistake here. I wasn't paying attention to what I was multiplying by. So I hope you're not using pen. I hope you can erase that. I tried multiplying by 9 twice, but I need to multiply by 2. 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So 9, that's 9. That's 9. That's 8. And if you look here, the answer should be close to 0.9. And so you put the decimal here at 0.8. Or you say there are 2 decimals plus 1 decimal. Your final answer should have 3 decimals. That's why 1, 2, 3. All right. Carmen earns $4.60 an hour. Working part-time as a painter's assistant, she worked a total of 15.75 hours. 1 week. How much money did Carmen earn? Well, this is the number of hours you worked times the price you pay or get paid. So that's basically 16 times 5, I guess, would be a good estimate. So 16 times 5. Well, 16 times 3 is 48. This ends up being, it should be close to an answer of 80. All right. So 2 decimals and 2 decimals. Your answer should have 2 decimals, but it also should be close to 80, and that's the closest number you can get to 80. That means Carmen earned 72.45 dollars for the week. All right, let's do this one. Now you've got 28.25 hours times 5.80 hours dollars per hour. You should have about 6 and 29 maybe, or 28. Your answer should be close to maybe 88. See, did I do that right? $6. It's 48, carry the 4, 12. 12 and 4 is 16. Man, I'm having trouble multiplying here. Let me write it so it's a little easier for you to see. All right, so we're going to do an estimate of 28 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. Carry the 4. That's 12 plus 4 is 16. So about $168. Now let's actually try the multiplying. 0 times 5, 0 times 2, 0, 0 times 8, 0 times 2, all of those end up being 0. Put a placeholder. 5 times 8 is 40. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. Eight times 8 is 64, plus 2 is 66. Eight times 2 is 16, and 6 is 22. Keep adding zeros. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, 41. That's 10, 16. So 0, 0, 5, 8, 3, 8, 1. And there are 4 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking at about $183.85, which is pretty reasonable. That's how much they made. Alrighty, so why don't you, as part of these notes, put in page numbers 171 to 172, exercises 11 through 37 odd, 38 to 43, 50 to 61, and, oh, not guided practices for you guys. Sorry, let me write this a little better. 50 to 61. And again, not guided practices. This is called your CYUs for homework. All right, good luck.